Hey, everybody. Good morning, and welcome to another episode of Just a Moment with Mila. I am your host, Jamila. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. Today is Monday, December 19th, and I am back with another episode. So if you guys are ready to rock, let's rock. Okay, guys. So today I want to talk about why we stay when we really should leave. Okay, and so here's what really brought about this topic for me. I have been working this job that I have since February. Okay, it's almost been a year for me. This is the longest that I've actually ever held down a job. Judge me if you want, I don't care. But this is a huge accomplishment for me, right? But this accomplishment has come at quite a few setbacks for me. I don't enjoy this job. I haven't enjoyed this job for some months now. Um, I don't enjoy the things that we have to do in order to do this job right or in order to do this job well. Um, Most of the hires up are, they are just I just don't enjoy this job. Okay. And um Tuesday was kind of like when it all came to a head for me. And I really got to the point where I was on, these job seeking sites while I was at work. Like I work from home, so I can kind of multitask if I want to. And so I was doing that. I was, on my work computer doing my job, and then on my personal laptop looking for work because it's not it for me. Um, and I'm struggling with this because, like I said before, this is the longest that I've ever held down a job. I'm almost at my year, the 1 year anniversary of having this job, and I'm really trying to make it to that point. But and I enjoy the paycheck and I love my coworkers. Um, but this job is just not for me. It's just not, I feel like as simple as the job should be, I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. And I just feel like this is just not what I'm supposed to be doing. Of course, I can see it, as a stepping stone for something greater. I can see it as, me doing what I have to do in order to do what I want to do, things like that. I can look at it like that. But I just it had me thinking about the fact that I'm staying at this job that I hate for the wrong reason. And I just named those reasons. I'm staying at this job because of the money. I'm staying at this job because I love my coworkers. I'm staying at this job because it's remote and it allows me flexibility. I'm staying at this job because I know ultimately that the job is important. I do think that the work we do is important. I do think that it ultimately does save lives, but it is not making me happy. It's really messing with me. And so it got me to thinking about why we stay in situations that don't serve us when we really need to leave. And so I think just in a broad general sense, whether it's a job or a relationship, or the city you live in, or the neighborhood you live in, whatever it is, um just in a general sense, why we stay in the situations that we're in, okay, when we really should leave, right? So I came up with 4 reasons why we stay when we should really leave. The first reason is time. We stay because we have invested a lot of time in these situations. We've spent months, years, maybe decades, depending on what your situation is that you're not happy in. We've spent a lot of time. And a lot of times we feel like if we walk away from the situation, we will have wasted all of that time. So that keeps us staying in that situation. Okay, that's the number one reason why we stay in places that we don't belong and we should leave. The second reason is comfort slash stability. Like I said before with this job, I stay at this job because I enjoy the money, right? It's a paycheck. Um, but I really don't think at the end of the day that a paycheck is worth um my peace of mind. It's not worth my happiness. It's not worth me being, depressed or whatever it is, it's not worth that. And I would rather be someplace that I really enjoy, that brings me happiness, and that makes me feel like I want to be there. You know what I mean? So that's the second reason why I think we stay in situations where we should leave. The third reason is fear. We fear the unknown, right? Just to go back to my own situation, I fear not being able. It took me a very long time to find this job, y'all. Like a very long time. And my fear in leaving this job is it's going to take me even longer to find another job, even though I'm actively looking for a job, putting in applications. I'm actively doing that and hearing nothing back, by the way. But, I'm starting that process all over again. And I fear, you know, running out of money if I do walk away from this job. Um, because even though it did pay me well for my needs in my current situation as it is, I'm fearful of all of that money running out before I can get another job. So the fear of whatever, fear of, of the unknown, fear of what could happen, keeps us staying in places and situations that we don't belong or that we should leave. Okay, so that's number 3. The fourth reason is not really knowing what you want. Um, I know that for me, I know what I want, but it's too broad, right? I haven't honed in on the number one thing that I want. Well, let me rephrase that. I know what I want to do. I just haven't narrowed it down to a niche, or a niche, however you pronounce it. I haven't narrowed it down to, you know, even 2 niches. I can have more than one niche, but I haven't dwindled it down, right? And so I fear that if I were to just go head first into this new venture that I really want to do, I'm just going to be like a fish out of water, and I'm going to just be doing all the things and doing none of them right, right? So I don't quite know exactly what it is that I want to do. Um and so I got to and that's keeping me at this job, right? Until I figure it out. So I think that these four things, people who have been at jobs or in situations in general that they're not happy with, that they want to leave, I think that you guys can relate to this, right? So um, I am going to take a quick break, right? And when I come back, I am going to give you 7 signs that it is time to leave the situation that you are in that no longer serves you. All right, so sit tight and I will be right back. All right, guys, so I'm going to give you 7 signs that it is time to leave the situation you are in that you are not happy with, that does not serve you. But before I do that, I want to just say that I know that for me, another reason that keeps me at this job or keeps me in general in places and situations that I don't belong or that don't serve me is because oftentimes I feel guilty when I walk away. I feel like walking away makes me a quitter. And I don't want to be a quitter anymore. I feel like I walked away from so many things that I've tried to do in my life and so many things that I've tried to make happen in my life. And I just don't want to feel like a failure. I don't want to feel like I'm giving up, right? And so I just have to remind myself, and maybe this helps you guys too. I have to remind myself that quitting that which does not serve me does not make me a quitter. Quitting is a sign of self or a form of self-care. Um and it shows strength, right? It takes a lot of strength, a lot of courage to walk away from something that you're comfortable in or something that you are familiar with, something you've been around or been in for a long time. It takes a lot of courage to walk away from something like that in with the belief that you're going to find something better, right? That's the thing. You have to have the belief that you're going to find something better. And I have to work on that myself. Because again, I said, previously that one of the things that I deal with is fear. So I do have to work really hard on believing that there's something out there better for me, right? So hopefully that helps. Okay, so the 7 signs that you 7 signs, excuse me, that it's time to leave this situation that you're in, that you don't want to be in, that doesn't serve you, right? The first sign is that the thing is toxic. um if your relationship is toxic, if your job is toxic, your boss, if your environment is toxic, if it is um negatively affecting your health, whether that's mental, emotional, spiritual, whatever it is toxic for you. So if you are experiencing or if you are receiving or feeling any kind of toxicity from this situation, that might be a sign that you need to leave. So that's number one. Number two, you dread showing up for this thing. Whether it's a job, like I'm gonna keep using the same examples, whether it's a job you don't like, you don't want to come to work, you don't want to wake up in the morning, you don't want to, you just don't want to do it, right? Um, you are tired of your significant other. You are, you look out the window and you just no longer love your surroundings. You dread showing up, right? So that's the second sign that that it's time to leave. So number three is that it affects your personal life negatively. What I mean by that is when the toxicity that I spoke about in number one does not stay where it is. So, it's, take for example your job. If your job is toxic and you don't leave that toxicity at the job, you bring it home with you and you start taking it out on your personal relationships, or it starts to affect um, just the way you live and the way you interact with people, that kind of thing. It when it negatively affects you personally and socially and all of those things, that might be a sign that it's time to walk away. Okay, that's number three. Number four, burnout. Burnout is real. Okay, and even when it's something simple that you're doing at the job, or if you're putting forth all this effort, to try to make your relationships work, or whatever it is, and you're burnt out, you might need to reconsider that thing. Now, that doesn't mean burnout doesn't always necessarily mean that you need to walk away, but if the burnout is difficult to come back from, you might need to rethink that thing. Okay, so that's number four. Number five is there's no room for improvement. Um, I know that for me, for my job, they took away a particular position that was right above mine. And I don't know how in the world I'm supposed to move up at this point. I don't know how anybody who does what I do is supposed to move up at this point. And that kind of scares me. So that's, and even, if you're in a relationship that doesn't seem to, or in a situationship that doesn't seem to be progressing into something more, or um, if you are if you don't see any room for a step up, then you might need to rethink, you might need to walk away. Okay, so that's number five. Number six is when you're on autopilot. When you just wake up and you have the same routine every single day, and there's no newness. There's just you just do the same thing every single day and without thinking about it, and you go to bed, you wake up the next morning and do it all over again, over and over and over again. That kind of stuff can lead to burnout. Um, but if you just feel yourself stuck in that way, stuck in autopilot, that might be a sign that you need to walk away. Okay, so that's number six. The last sign is when you are no longer in alignment with the thing that you are um attached to, if you will. So like at the jobs have certain missions or certain values that they adhere to. If you no longer agree with those, or you no longer align yourself with those, or if you're in a relationship and you guys want two different things out of the relationship, it might be time to walk away. You if you can't uh readjust or rethink it and rework it to where you can be on the same page, you might need to walk away. So those are the seven signs that I thought of that can lead to feeling like you need to walk away, or signs that it's time to walk away. Okay, so I hope that all of this information um, helps somebody who might be in this situation. If you've ever been in this situation before and you have any advice with regard to, transitioning from from a bad situation to a better situation, in a smooth way, I'm all ears. Feel free to reach out to me. Um, I would love to hear from you guys. I do love and appreciate all of the support that I've gotten lately, by the way. I appreciate it. So yeah, I hope that this helps you. And hopefully you guys can, find a way to transition from bad to better. All right? All right. Okay, guys, really quickly before I close out, I just want to acknowledge the passing of Steven Twitch Boss. Everyone who was aware of him knew how dope of a dancer he was and how bright and big his light, shined in front of everybody. I just want to send condolences out to his wife and his kids and his mom and his friends and family. They probably won't hear this, but just, because I was a fan. Um, his death was really jarring for a lot of people for a lot of reasons. And so I just want to send out a reminder to you guys, always be kind to people because you never know what people are going through. You never know what people are dealing with. So always meet people with empathy and compassion and, kindness and friendliness because you just never know. And also, if you or someone you know is dealing with thoughts of suicide, struggling with depression, need somebody to talk to, you can dial 988 to the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, and someone will talk to you. Okay, so just know that you're not alone. You are loved, you are seen, and you got this. All right? All right. All right, folks. So that is it for this week. Hopefully, that was enjoyable for you. Hopefully, it helps someone. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy your Monday. Happy Hanukkah to those who celebrate. Merry Christmas to those who celebrate. Um, and yeah, I will see you guys back here next Monday, which will be the final show of the season, the final show of the year. And yeah, I will see you guys then. All right, take care.